Plus, you sat down with Steph Curry.
Klay Thompson, your teammate, and he broke your record earlier this year when he hit 14 against Chicago. How close do you think we are to seeing a guy maybe hit 20 in a game?
A long way away, for sure. I mean, a lot of things had to go right for me and Klay to, get over that 12 mark at the time for me to get 13, him 14. So, teams as a whole are shooting a lot more threes across the league, but it's tough to get that many good looks, and it takes a guy, obviously, the right system, the right set of circumstances in the game, and obviously you got to make shots. But I know we're going to keep pushing the envelope for sure. So it won't be for a lack of effort if me or Klay don't get there.
Speaking of Klay as well, he had an AMA Reddit the other day, and one of the questions he was asked was if he was stranded on a deserted island, who would he want to be stuck with? And Steven Adams was one, Karl Malone was another, and you were the third. What I want to know is, if you were stuck on a deserted island, who's the one player you would not want to be stuck with?
It's a weird answer. It'd probably be my brother, in terms of we grew up, all that back and forth, that competitiveness and whatnot. Maybe I would want him on there because we just compete to try to survive.
I know you're a big golf fan. You tuned in for Phil and Tiger the other day. Do you think an NBA equivalent of one-on-one in basketball would work? Would guys do that?
I think like a king of the court type of environment for sure, where you get 5, 6 guys who just keep going at each other and bringing the best at each other. Everybody wants to see one-on-one battles. It's like matchups that you talk about going into certain games or whatever, but you don't rarely get to see that true one-on-one, back and forth type of environment. But that might be something the fans would love to see.
The All-Star Weekend is coming up in one of your hometowns in Charlotte this year. Now, I know you sat out the three-point shootout last year. I saw you train some guy, but he was awful. But, have you thought about it? Can you give me a scoop here? Will you be back in Charlotte, or you haven't made up your mind yet?
I thought about it a lot. It would be awesome to be back in Charlotte with my dad. Obviously, played for 10 years where I grew up. So we'll see what happens. A little bit of time before the decision actually need to be made. But if I have the opportunity and feeling good, definitely would like to be out there.
So I've scooped Woj, I think, on this one. I think I've scooped him. But you've got to get the record anyway. Devin Booker's taken it off you and Klay, so you've got to get it back. No better place to do it than back in Charlotte, eh?
100%. So have my pops in the building, my brother in the building. Maybe he can get my brother into the three-point contest too, have a Curry family shootout type of vibe, so it'd be dope.
Well, if you do, good luck, man, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, man.
Who are we kidding? That could be the contest.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Dell, Seth, and Steph. That might be the whole thing right there.
There you go.
Cleveland still leading Golden State, and Steph has the feeling tonight. 6 of 9 from the great beyond. He has 25 already. But with the Warriors trailing, figures to get big minutes tonight. Could be a big number by the end of the night.
You hit it, Matt. The Cavs are competing, Sekou, so that means you have to stay on the floor. And as long as that flamethrower still got some heat left on there, you got to leave him on the floor.
Better believe it. I don't know what. Listen, this Cavaliers team, they've been scrapping a little bit lately.
Better lately.
I don't know what Larry Drew said to him, but they have certainly, put up a fight a few times. And Colin Sexton, we didn't hear from him early on in this rookie year, starting to show some signs. I like what I'm seeing from him.
Well, I think the trade with Alec Burke we were just talking about, he's another basketball player. So as they shuffle the deck, and we were just teasing in the break, there's no way you're going to replace LeBron James. And Sekou, you said it the right way. It shouldn't be looked at that way.
Right.
So now as you're rebuilding, you're bringing in basketball players, basketball minds, trying to play the right way. Larry Drew's been down this path before, being on a good team and things being rebuilt. So I think he's the right person for it right now, Sekou, is now can Kobe Altman bring in more players to bring in some good energy and guys wanting to play hard every night.
You know what's interesting to me about their roster is Kevin Love, because they signed him to that extension. It's $120 million. Moving forward, he sort of doesn't fit the rest of the roster in that he's a veteran who's been around a while. Seems like a piece on a contending team, and the Cavaliers appear to be in, to the surprise of some on the roster, appear to be in more of a rebuilding mode.
They're definitely in rebuilding mode, but I think for Kevin Love's talent, they took a chance and say, we're going to keep a seasoned veteran, a champion that has the skill set. We're shooting a lot of threes. Well, he can shoot the three.
Yep.
When in doubt, we still can throw him back down the post, and you can run some offense through him. The question is, when he comes back from his injury, where will he be? Obviously, the team's not playing for a playoff spot, but mentally, will he be prepared for next year when you bring in more talent?
And I think as young guys improve, you want the right kind of veteran leader on that team. I think Kevin Love at this stage of his career is the perfect guy for that group, because it's not like you got a guy who's out there trying to prove himself or prove to everybody else every night that he is what his profile says he is.
Sure.
He's a champion. He's been an all-star. He's got that, the big contract. So it's not like he's chasing any of those things. He's going to be about the greater good and what works for the group as opposed to just what works for Kevin Love. I like him as kind of that veteran piece that they're going to need this time next year and maybe beyond.
Yeah, and presumably they've had this conversation with him, but you wonder what else he might want to get out of his career beyond the big contract,
but that's
beyond the championship he already has, but other competition moving forward.
But Matt, you just said on the head that at this point in your career, I'm sure the respect of the conversation that him and Kobe Altman can have and say, hey, you brought me here. Thank you for the finals run with LeBron. I have a championship. I got the big contract. I'm healthy. I still want an opportunity to win. Now his contract is still with a, it's not one of those, oh my goodness, his last year he's making 40-something crazy.
Right.
So he can move him if he still wants to be competitive and win.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
It's not small.
No, it's not small.
It's not 40-something. But it's not small.
Maybe 37.
Got some something.
Hey, maybe
It's
30, maybe 30,
significant.
maybe 37.
It's significant. I'd put it like that.
It's like 37. Might not be 45, but it's like 37.
Not small.